So, with that, it's my privilege to introduce you to tonight's moderator, a man who needs no introduction, but I'll do it anyway. Co-host of the popular morning show Davis and Emmer, 6 to 9 a.m. weekdays on Twin Cities News Talk AM 1130, and the host of the Twin Cities News Talk AM 1130. Sorry. Roundtable featuring all TwinCitiesNewsTalk.com commentators on Saturday mornings. Former precinct chair and SD60 secretary, everyone, let's give a warm welcome to Mr. Bob Davis.
You're hired. Thanks, everyone. I'm wearing my professorial corduroy jacket tonight because I did not want to be Anderson Cooper. And the reason I say that is that the thing that I detest about watching the debates on television is the rules. Because there's no opportunity for people to actually have a conversation about the issues. So what we're going to do tonight is a little different. We are going to have a little 2-minute period for each of these candidates to introduce themselves to you. And then we're going to go through questions. Some of them will be yours. I've got like 48 or 50. I got enough questions for 3 hours. But the idea is for them to sort of have a roundtable and talk about the issues as opposed to be forced into this sort of straitjacket approach with the rules. The other thing is, it is not about me. It's really not even about them. It's about you, because you guys ultimately are going to have to decide who you want to endorse for the CD5 candidacy to beat Keith Ellison, which is really the objective. And I'm sure that they would agree that really the objective here is to communicate positions and ideas on issues to you guys. And I do want to say thanks to everybody for showing up. This is amazing. Thanks to the webcast, and thanks especially to the candidates for standing up and running. The biggest problem I know it's a problem in the Republican Party. Couldn't tell you about the Democrats, but it's finding good qualified candidates that can articulate the issues and that have the passion to run and to actually carry that passion into Congress. So let's get started. Why don't you guys just all come up at once and take your seats, and then I'll just stand off to the side, and then we'll have you introduce yourselves. So Mike Katch, Chris Field, Lynne Torgerson, great to see you guys tonight. What we want to do first is have you take 2 minutes. I got to get my phone out so I can do my little timer. This is the only time that there will be a bell. I feel like that guy on the Actors Studio. What's your favorite swear word? I'm not going to ask that. I'm just kidding. We'll give you 2 minutes to do your intro. And the way this has been done in the past is alphabetical order, so we're going to reverse it so that people who haven't had a chance to go first get to go first, and that would be Lynne Torgerson, who of course has a name that begins with T. So you go ahead and introduce yourself, tell us who you are and your history, and here you go.
Thank you, Mark Johnson, Senate District 60 Chair, Bob Davis, and Joel and Adam for putting on this important event. My name is Lynne Torgerson, and I am running for Congress here in the 5th Congressional District of the state of Minnesota. I want to start by just giving you a little background about myself. I was born and raised in the Minneapolis area. I attended the University of Minnesota Minneapolis campus and obtained degrees in political science and psychology. After that, I attended William Mitchell College of Law and graduated with honors. Subsequent to that, I worked for the United States District Court for a federal magistrate judge in Los Angeles, and then I returned and have had my own successful law practice for about 16 years, where I've pretty much devoted my career to protecting the constitutional rights of people of all races, nationalities, and religions. I also want to mention I recently won a case at the United States Supreme Court and was awarded Attorney of the Year. I also want to tell you why I'm running. I am running because I believe we need people in elected office who have the right values, and then if they have the right values, then they enact the right laws, and that benefits both the district and the country.
Got 30 seconds.
Okay. I do believe that I have the right values. I know the difference between right and wrong, And even though we may not always live up to that, we shouldn't reduce our ideals. And I also believe that our country is the best, safest, freest, and most prosperous, and I want to help keep it that way. Thank you.
Thanks. That was perfect. 150, not 50. So now we'll do Chris Fields.
I'm retired Major Chris Fields, a 21-year combat veteran of the United States Marine Corps. I'm seeking your endorsement because I believe in you. I believe in the people of our district and our country. Right now, many Americans believe that we are a nation in decline. I simply do not believe this. They believe that we need to retreat from the American principles and virtues that have made us the greatest nation in history. That Washington should somehow step up their efforts to deliver more one-size-fits-all regulations and programs that do nothing to serve but perpetuate a system of dependency on government. I believe we need sound and effective leadership in Washington, especially in Congress. I believe that our representative's job should be to step up his efforts to ensure that we remain a free people. We are not a nation in decline. We are a nation at a crossroads. 2012 will be about one thing: deciding who will deliver us to a path of prosperity for all people, not the government picking winners and losers. I want to thank the BPOU leadership of SD60 for their sponsorship of this event, and thank all of you for attending. Look, the challenges that we face are tough. However, the faces that I see here tonight inspire and motivate me. Thank you.
Having lived in this community for the last 22 years, I'll tell you that I've adopted a lot of Minnesota mannerisms, and talking about oneself is just something that really isn't done very well, and you always have to have a certain amount of modesty because, oh gosh, you certainly don't want to be out there bragging. I am the survivor of a traumatic brain injury. In 1982, I was one of the youngest members of the Chicago Mercantile Exchange in the exchange's history when I was in an automobile accident. I spent 8 years relearning how to walk, how to speak coherently, and through that time I learned a lot about government because, well, gosh, for a period I was homeless. Now, government really doesn't want to help you get back on your feet. They want to keep you dependent. And I learned that when the government says they're going to help you, that don't mean they're going to help you. That a lot of our social programs are set up to keep the poor, well, exactly where they are poor. That there is no hope in a lot of those communities. And gosh, it wouldn't be nice if we actually could bring hope back to those communities. When I was a Democrat, I used to go to conventions and say, we have to get people to stop being poor. We have to give them opportunity and hope. And boy, I got booed out of conventions. I got kicked out of delegations. But it's all about the same thing, is that government is really not our friend in most cases. Now, I and my wife worked really hard, and we built a cab company, and we found out that in the cab business, government will put you out of business. Government regulation through insurance, through inspections, through checking out your drivers, doing all kinds of other things that really get in the way of your ability to make money. Well, government does a lot of things that are harmful. So what I'm here to do is try to scale back government and bring opportunity back to people who absolutely need it, and bring that hope back to America that made America strong before we got into the social welfare mess and overregulation.